Hello everybody, I'm Avian and we have been working on a custom farm map mod. So today we're going to do some testing. I figured it's probably a good idea to show you all how I go about testing anyway, and this seems like a great chance to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and get the game loaded. We're going to start a new file and then we're going to see if our custom farm load icon is available from the start screen, from the new file screen, like I'm hoping it will be. To start off, there we go, there it's loading. So when you're loading in a mod, you will have this SMAPI screen right here. Purple's going to tell you if stuff needs to be updated. I'm watching to make sure there's no initial red or yellow, which there's not. So now we have our Stardew screen loading in. Let me just pop that up to full screen. Make a new file. And we have... There is some little weirdness there, which I have to figure out. I'm wondering if I made it like a pixel width too small. But it is there, along with some other farms that I wanted to explore. While that runs, let's see, what is a map app? Okay, so occasionally you want to check your SMAPI log, and what we're watching for is any red or yellow that has our Applegate farm name in this. The very first time, of course, I load it, I get one. What this is telling me, let me see if I can find the section that tells us exactly. Applegate farm loaded map assets maps with invalid tile sheet path. Directory climbing is only permitted at the start of the path. This basically tells me that my map is somehow linked to the tile sheet in my computer folder instead of having the clean path that links to the game files. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this. I'm going to fix that real quick. So what I need to do now is I need to open my... I need to go into my Applegate farm. I need to open my map file, but instead of opening it in tiled, I'm going to right click and I'm going to open with VS Code, which you're going to see just a real quick trick, just this once. So all of your tile data and everything you can see in VS Code. And what I'm looking for is the image path, which is right here, this image source. So I'm going to copy that. And this way I can go through. So this is correct. This one right here where it says image source and then just has the name of the tile sheet. One of these is not. And I'm thinking it's this one right here because this is my my folder path, my file path, because somehow it was linked to my paths tile sheet inside of my maps folder instead of keeping it contained and being in the one next to it. So all I have to do to fix this is I just delete that whole bit right there. And then I need to add the .png to the end. And then I'm going to go through and make sure none of the others have that. That's correct. This one, Spring Outdoors Tiled Sheet 2, is also linked incorrectly. I wish I could tell you that that was intentional. It was not. All of my cautions about making sure your map is in the same folder as your tile sheets when you're creating. And I apparently did not do such a good job myself. But now you know what happens if something were to go, and now you know how to fix that. .png. Like I said, we're just deleting your file path. So you find the name of the tile sheet, you start with the dash before it. Just delete everything between the name of the tile sheet and the first quotation mark. Go to the end of the tile sheet, add your dot and the file type, and then that one is correct. So that is all good. And again, you're looking for image source for fixing that correction. Now I can save this. Since I don't have the game open, I'm going to just look at my icon file real quick. Okay, so I've done a little poking around. I've got the marine farm, and if you go to image properties, you can see their width is 22, whereas if I open up mine and go to image properties, my width is 19. So I need to add a couple pixels to each side and match their dimensions, because I think what's happening is that because my icon is not the right size, it's just filling in the blanks with the edge. So we're gonna go ahead and resize my icon. Resize canvas, that's what I want. 22, keep things centered. Click OK. I am going to shift everything over so that it's wider on the far side. Debating if I want to shorten my canvas back again or not. I'm going to leave it. It matches the meadow farm size. We're going to leave it. File, save, save. Okay, so my icon image is now the correct size as far as I can tell. All right, here we are, new. See if it shows up again. And it's all fixed. So that was the entire problem, was that my icon was the wrong size. So now we know our dimensions are 20 by 22. So one thing I can tell you right now is I probably want to go back in and add some custom furniture. So we will need to do that because I have no TV, I have no fireplace. We do have our floor and our wall coloring the way I intended. So I'm going to run around our map and make sure our map is doing all the right things. Eloise's first letter. I've got a tree. I'm going to grab a sticky note because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a list of things I need to fix. I'm going to go fix them, and then we're going to start this process over again. So we want farmhouse furniture. I will, of course, show you how I fix the furniture. The sakura tree, the pink tree, tree by house. So yes, so we want to run around, we want to look for all the weird things. Oh, I want to add more clutter. I'm thinking the house. Oh no, the house went over at the top of the tree. I don't know. But our apple trees are here. You see our apple trees? These are functioning apple trees. Our pet bowl needs to scoot in. Can I fill it? Yes, our pet bowl needs to scoot in one tile. And that is just going to be changing the x coordinate by -1. And here, yes, we can get down here. Our mining nodes are working correctly. I'm going to want to fix the edges of my trees by mining nodes. I have to look. I wonder if I misspelled, like if my always front layer 2, if there's a typo in that layer and that's why it's up. Okay, go up here. Edges. our stumps showing up. That's bush. Going to test our... Yes, that works correctly. I'm mostly running around the edges looking for any overlapping tiles where the character might be able to. Oh, we can cross our bridge. However, we need to fix the waterfall base. I know this seems tedious, but you're gonna thank yourself for finding all the weird tiles before anybody else sees your mod. Oh, and our grandfather's note needs to scooch over. Nothing terribly exciting down there other than that you can. In my head, when I fully playtest this farm, that is probably where I'm going to store my scarecrows. Back across here. Grandfather's note needs to scooch over. And again, this is just, we would just go into the tile sheet property where we set grandfather's note across the bridges and reduce that X value by 1. Okay, so there's no weirdness there. I'm gonna run back over to the bus stop entry and make sure that works real quick. And then we're gonna work around the lake and go down the bottom. Yes, that goes to the bus stop. However, you notice the bus stop entry put me right here. So I need to I believe that's the bus stop entry location. Yeah, so this is largely why I wanted to show you all that we test things, because you don't want to find out the hard way. Yes, water tiles are working correctly. I already wrote down that those trees were a little funny. That's there. Oh, I have some shadows or some dirt. So I want to go back through and make sure that I didn't have a shadow or some dirt there that didn't match. I didn't think I did. You can also see that there's a stone. That put me back. And that put me back in the middle of the lake. Forest entry definitely needs to be fixed, because no one wants to end up in the back of the lake. Fortunately, it looks like, oh, I can't. And you also see that this dock here, dock underwater. I'm gonna run around the water for a moment. And the log is not underwater. if I can get back on land or if I'm going to have to do a debug warp. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a debug warp. So let me get this screen up. Yeah, I'm going to need to update Meep or I'm just going to keep getting errors. So one of the things Content Patcher comes with is its own debug command. And there's a whole list of what those commands are and what they can do. If I do debug space warp farm, it should warp me to those spots and get me out of the lake so I can keep, yep. So I can keep exploring, looking for things that I need to fix. Some of my, so I need to look at the grass around the logs. This looks okay. Oh, you can hear those crickets chirping right here. So that's working. If I did it right, you should be able to put, I'm going to count also. The thing I'm going to do is I'm going to count my spaces to make sure you can put fish ponds down here if you want to. Otherwise, it might just be a great spot for a tapping course. Here I am planning a farm when I'm supposed to be debugging. So the I think I can hear the waterfall. Okay, so this pier here, what this is that these tiles are on the back layer over water. So I need to make sure there's no water tiles underneath them. I think it was like a back layer 2 or something. Because what is happening is because there's water tiles on the very bottom layer, the game is applying the motion overlay over the top of the pier. So there either needs to be no water tiles in this space whatsoever, or it needs to be on the building layer and have the passable tiles property like we did for the bridges. So there it is. Yep, there's the bats. I want to go up here real quick. Oh, I have some water tiles by the cave waterfall. Making sure our cave entrance is in the correct spot. However, when we come out of the cave, we end up in the wrong spot. I also think I'm going to add a lantern right there. So what I have clearly a bunch more of things to fix and test. I'm just going to go ahead and exit out of this. So I'm going to show y'all, I have my sticky note of things to correct. I'm going to get to work on those. We're going to come back and we're going to have another look in a little bit. And I might as well show you because I've got, let me open up those layers. What had happened on Always Front is there's a space between Always and Front, and that was the bug causing all of the leaves on the trees to hide. I fixed some grass. I put, removed the water tiles from the dock. I put the log back underwater. I am going to go back through and add clutter and fix the spawning things so that they don't spawn on top of stumps and rocks and things. Oh, and I also put the base of the waterfall on the building layer, so that should fix that. Most of the tile fixes themselves are fairly easy. Oh, and one more thing I added. Let me hide the tile data. Is I added a light and a frame around the farm cave. So I put the mining one there instead and put the light there, because it seems nice to have a light outside the farm cave. Especially when your greenhouse is right there and you have to walk all the way around. Anyway, that is my stream of consciousness spew about the tiled edits. Alright, we've got it. All our furniture is in the right spot in the room. We don't have any extras. I'm going to show you what I did real quick. We have this farmhouse furniture field right here. Basically is your furniture number without the object qualifier, the X and Y coordinates you want it in, and then direction facing. So for the chair, which is facing with the back against the wall and then facing for the person to sit on it, that direction is 1, and everything else is 0 for facing forward. That is it there. I did, when I was going through, I found some spaces after my entry names, and I'm hoping that was the cause of all of our trouble, because it's a really silly mistake and exactly the sort of thing that I would accidentally do. So let's get through this cutscene. Everything else is fixed. It's just those entries. Sorry, I just realized how high up the shipping box was. Shipping bin location. Drop it down to 19, I believe. Just lost it. Yeah. Should be 19. Yeah, that is what testing is all about. And that way it'll sit right on the path. Alright. Confirm. Let's do the rounds again. Check up here, because if I don't and it's broken, I'll be sad. Still works. I am a little bit regretting adding the extra clutter because it's taking extra time to get to the things I want to test. Farm cave. Yes! Okay, it was a space. I feel so silly, but let that be a lesson. One tiny typo or extra space or comma in the wrong spot can really mess up everything. Oh, and I'm still seeing that down there. I'm gonna double check that I don't have anything down there. Yes! Okay, he's landing. I want to move him over one more spot. That was the... Oh, that's the fishing info. I need to do this in tiled. Forest entry. So we need to go to 5973. Yeah, I should put instead of putting them right there. Yeah. And make sure there's no... So what was happening is because I had a space in the name, it was being overridden by the standard farm entry points. Izzy says she's going to help us now. Oh, and I wanted to check for a rock right there. So the way I would do this is I would go to layers. Close that. Yep, there's my rock on my paths layer. So I'm going to go to my paths layer, just delete that rock, and now it won't show up right there in the middle of. Furniture's in the right spot. Shipping bin is now in the right spot. Get through this again. Alright, so we're going to run down. Only one I have left. Right here. Yep, and that puts us right where we want to land. Perfect. Okay, so that is all fixed. We can now run around. I haven't found any other displaced tiles. I've been fixing this colored dirt patches as I find them. I think we're pretty good shape there. All of our bridges let me walk on them. The dock over here is fixed. The log is underwater. I've added a whole lot more clutter. You can kind of sort of hear the waterfall. I know for a fact if I come down here I can hear the crickets. Yep, there's the crickets. It's just very quiet. The only thing I haven't seen yet is forage, but I said that is a 25% chance. So I will have to basically just play for a couple days and see if the forage pops up. That is fixed. I really did add a lot more clutter. I'm having a hard time getting around. I've added down here, we have a light. So that should light up, so I'm going to have to play a little bit and get to nighttime to see that. I'm sure that works. Let's go back to the farm cave. Largely what I'm collecting in this one is weeds. I wonder if I can turn the sound effects up. Yep, you can hear the waterfall, I just had to turn the volume up. The farm cave in the right spot. I am extremely pleased with the way this went. After an afternoon of searching and only discovering it was an extra space, which is on par for me. But yeah, that is the basics of how to make your own Stardew Valley farm, along with what testing that farm might look like once it's complete. I hope you all had fun and learned something, and I hope this information was helpful. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful day.